All right, are you ready for some football trivia that's going to totally change the way you see the game? In this explainer, we are diving into some of the most surprising, little-known facts about European football. So stick around, because whether you call it football or soccer, you're definitely about to learn something new.
So let's kick things off with the game's identity. We're going to start with a name you've probably heard a million times, but I bet its origin story is not what you think.
Okay, let me ask you a simple question. Where did the word soccer actually come from? Now, if your first thought is the United States, well, you might be in for a bit of a shock.
Yeah, if you said the United States, you'd be falling for one of the biggest myths in the sport. The real origin, it's much, much closer to the game's home.
Surprise! It came from England. Get this, back in the day, the sport's official name was Association Football. The British, loving their slang, just took the sock from association and boom, soccer was born. It was just a clever way to tell it apart from rugger, which was their slang for rugby football. So the next time you hear that debate, you'll know the real story.
And you know, these historical connections run deep. I mean, take Juventus, one of Italy's most legendary clubs. You know their famous black and white striped kits? Turns out that wasn't an original design. They were actually inspired by Notts County, an English side that just so happens to be the world's oldest professional football club. It's just a great reminder that even the biggest giants of the game are standing on the shoulders of history.
Okay, so from identity, let's switch gears and talk about the rules that really shaped the game. Some of these laws are so fundamental, they were put in place before modern football as we know it even existed.
Take the offside rule, for instance. It's probably one of the most argued about rules in the entire sport, right? But it was established way back in the 1800s. That's even before the first professional leagues were formed in 1888. It was designed to stop players from just, camping out by the opponent's goal. It forced the game to be about teamwork and strategy from the very beginning.
Now for a rule that puts one player under some serious pressure. The goalkeeper. They're the only ones who can use their hands, but believe me, the clock is always ticking. They have just 6 seconds to hold onto that ball before they have to release it. This rule is purely designed to prevent time wasting and keep the game moving at a ridiculously fast pace. I mean, talk about thinking on your feet.
All right, from the rule book to the record books, let's look at some of the players who completely redefined what was possible and some of the legendary records that have been set on the pitch.
17. Just 17. That's how old the legend Pelé was when he scored his first ever World Cup goal. Can you imagine that? A teenager on the biggest stage in the entire world, becoming an instant icon? Just incredible.
And hey, from a legendary debut to the legendary consistency, Cristiano Ronaldo has scored in 5 different World Cups. Think about that. To maintain that elite level for almost 2 decades is just a remarkable testament to his insane dedication and discipline.
Seriously, blank and you will miss this. The fastest recorded goal in history was scored in just 2.4 seconds. That's barely enough time to get settled in your seat. Nawaf Al-Abed scored it pretty much directly from kickoff. Just imagine the absolute shock in that stadium. And where do these legends pull off these incredible feats? Well, on stages of an almost unimaginable scale. Take Camp Nou, FC Barcelona's home stadium. It can hold nearly 100,000 fans. That's basically a small city, all in one place, just roaring for their team. It really is a cathedral of football.
But football is so much more than just players and records and stats. It's a global culture, and it's so rich with traditions and rituals that unite millions and millions of fans all over the world. Let's talk about the most iconic trophy in club football, the Champions League trophy. So it used to be that if a club won it 3 times in a row, or 5 times total, they actually got to keep the original trophy forever. But since 2009, that rule is gone. Now, UEFA keeps the original, and the winning clubs get a replica. This change has made that original trophy an even more mythical, untouchable prize.
And you know that iconic, spine-tingling Champions League anthem you hear before every match? It's so much more than just music. It's actually a symbol of European unity. The lyrics are sung in a mix of English, German, and French, which are UEFA's 3 official languages. It's just the perfect soundtrack for a continent-wide competition.
And there you have it, our roundup of some of football's most fascinating facts. We've gone through history, rules, culture, the whole shebang. So now I want to turn it over to you. If you could change one rule in football today, what would it be? Let us know what you think. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you on the next explainer.